Branding is the creation and perpetuation of the identity of your business. Let me stop there and say that branding is not a logo. Okay? I was not able, this is my definition. I was not able to find a suitable definition prior to this webinar, so I just made this one. Branding is not a logo. A logo is part of your branding, just like promotion is part of marketing. Okay? Branding is, who are you? What does your business stand for? And how do you want your business to be perceived by your various publics? What are publics? Publics are the different classes of people with whom you need to interact in your business. You have multiple publics, not just your customers. You have your existing customers. You have prospective customers. You have investors in some cases. You have staff. Okay? You may have vendors. Okay? And amongst them, especially amongst your prospects, you have different types of prospects. You know, you may have a product that appeals to a wide range of people. But so maybe, you know, your product appeals to mothers, but it also appeals to single guys. Well, that's two different publics. Okay? Two different publics who want two different sets of things. And so you have to have two different messages to cater to those people. So this is branding. Branding is like the whole thing. And if any two words can be somewhat interchangeable, it's marketing and branding. Marketing and branding are very, very, very close in their definitions. Slightly different. So your logo is part of your brand. You can see over here on the right-hand side, this is our logo. When I do logos, I like to have a standalone portion of the logo that communicates a message all by itself and can be used by itself in branding for things like t-shirts, watermarks in documents, stuff like that, so that when people see it, they think of my brand. So I can take the words away and still have this symbol left that communicates my brand, like Apple. So when I do a logo, this is what I do, and you can see our logo over here on the right, encompasses our branding, because what does in-touch marketing do? With the click of a button, we put you in touch with lots of people who are going to want your product. Simple, easy. That's what we do, and that's what our logo says. Okay, so let's talk about the marketing sequence. The marketing sequence, because this is where it starts to break down, and this is where people start to really waste money, is they do this out of sequence. The first thing you do is your marketing process. This is where you are creating and conceiving your product. If you already have a product or service and you're improving it, cultivating it, making it better, adding to it, this is the marketing process where you sit down. It's kind of an ivory tower thing where you sit down and you decide what it is you represent, what it is you want to deliver to your prospects, what value your service represents, what market you're servicing, etc. This is your marketing process. Then behind that, next in line, is your branding. And what the branding does is it flushes out that whole marketing concept. It says, this is who we are, this is what we stand for, this is the value we represent, and this is what we intend to accomplish. And this is what we want people to think about us. That's your branding. And that's the second thing. Most people jump right into number 3 and number 2, 4, 3 and 4. And they skip 1 and 2, and that's where your money gets wasted. Okay? Once you have your message clear and you know what you want to say, ideally you should do some surveys to find out what your public wants to hear. Okay? But I know as an entrepreneur, you can't always start out. Hang on, type up which definition you want me to say again, because I went through a few of them. But basically, the ideal thing is to do surveys before you really start to promote. Okay? It will avoid a lot of waste. Now, if you haven't, you've already started to promote because you're already in business, that's cool because you've got to do what you got to do. Okay? But as you improve the quality of your marketing and the efficiency of your marketing process, you want to get some surveys in there. Okay? Finding out what your public that you're going after, what your target market or markets need and want, what they expect, what they're looking for, what they want to hear, what kinds of messages do they respond to. Okay? What does the company have to say to make you want to respond to their ad? Finding these things out before you do your promotion will save you money and time in promotion and will make your promotion more effective. And then taking those survey results and sharing them with your branding people, your marketing people, your sales people especially, and your public relations people. Okay? They all need to know this data because they're all sending messages out for you. Then you get into sales, which is, of course, where you make your money. So branding, we want to just recap this definition of branding. The creation and perpetuation of the identity of your business. What does your business stand for? And how do you want your business to be perceived by your various publics? What do you want people to think of? Like when you think of Apple, what do you think? Great brand, fantastic branding. What do you think? Easy to use, high technology, cool, hip, all the cool people have it. That's their branding. And that's why they can sell a computer that does half as much for twice as much. Because their branding is solid, right? And they have done marketing, as we defined before, where it says the strategy that underlies sales techniques, business communication, and business development. It is an integrated process through which companies build strong customer relationships and create value for their customers and for themselves. Apple has $80 billion in the bank. That's value for themselves and their stakeholders. And the fact that people are willing to pay twice as much for a Mac as they can for a PC that is twice as powerful as that same Mac says that they have created value for their customers that exceeds the cost of their products. So people are willing to pay more for Macs and get less because their marketing and branding is so good. And they don't really, at least lately, they haven't been doing a ton of promotion, but they've got the marketing and branding going, and their public relations is great. And the next thing I have on this list is actually publicity, but I don't know if you can see it because I want to just do a quick differentiation between public relations and publicity because that's another thing that a lot of people confuse. Publicity is to promotion as public relations is to marketing and branding. Okay? Public relations sits above publicity. Public relations is exactly that. It is the overseeing of all of your relations with all of your different publics. It is your image, your public image. Okay? It is making sure that people think well of you and also making sure that you're well known and well liked, well respected, well thought of. This is public relations. Okay? It's handling any snafus that come up, problems that come up with your image, handling that and cleaning that up. That's what a public relations or a PR person is supposed to do. Now, a lot of people use PR and publicity interchangeably. They are really not interchangeable, and using them interchangeably can leave big gaping holes in your organization.